Hello guys, welcome to Solving Solutions. So in today's tutorial, we are going to show you how to delineate wetland using QGIS. So a wetland is referred to an area of land where all of the water that is under it or drains off of it goes into the same place. Right, good. It's like a natural water body that when rain falls or snow melts, the water follows gravity and then it flows downhill, joining rivers, streams, lakes or oceans. So the delineation is the process of identifying and mapping out the boundaries of that particular watershed. So we are going to use QGIS for today's demonstration, and then we have a digital elevation model here. Right, good. So the processing toolbox has been docked. You can get yours under processing and then you see the toolbox, right? And then we are going to use a tool called the Saga Next Gen. So there is a video on the channel on how to download and install it. The link to that particular video will be on the description section of this video. So we scroll down to terrain analysis, and then under terrain analysis, we first of all fill our digital elevation model. Right, good. So we have fill sinks by Wang and Liu. So we open that up, and then the input is what? These are them. The minimum slope, we leave it at default as it is. And then for the field, then we can actually save to file. Okay, so we have navigated to our folder of choice, and then we call it dem_field. And then we don't need the flow direction, neither do we need the watershed basins now. So we uncheck those and then we run. So we can close this out. Now it is of great importance to note that your digital elevation model have to be in a projected coordinate reference system. Right, good. So you should ensure that your data is in a projected system. If per adventure yours is not in a projected system, you come to raster, you go to projections, and then you see WAP, and then you impute your data, the source data, the target data will now be the projected system, and then you proceed. Right, now let's come back to the processing toolbox. We have just filled our digital elevation model. We come to channel network and drainage basin. Then the input for the elevation is the field dem. For the threshold, is very important. You need to understand the data you're working with, the resolution, the terrain you are working with. Now it ranges from 1 to 5. By default, they have inserted 5. So you need to understand how you can modify it so that you are going to have a better result. So for our data, we are using 1, and then we are going to see the effect on our stream order data. Right, so we leave sub basins as default as it is. We don't need flow direction for now. We don't need the connectivity. Now for the Strahler order, which is the stream order, we are going to browse. So we call that order, and then we can open that up. We don't need the drainage basin, but we need the channels, so we can still browse. So we open that. We don't need the drainage basins and the junctions for now. So having populated the parameters like this, we can run. Good. So the process has been completed. We can decide to close this, and then you can see that by default we have the stream order and the channels, which are quite much. Now from the stream order raster, we can do a few things. We can see that we have from 1 to 8, 8 being the highest, and then from the raster you can see that the highest are having the white colors, and then the lower values are having black. Right, good. So we can decide to come to raster. Okay, first of all, we can change the symbology to single band pseudo color. We make it equal intervals, and then we make it about 8 classes so that each of the class will have distinct color, and then we can just click on OK. So we can see that the highest colors are these colors that are a bit reddish, which are somewhere around here and somewhere around there. So these locations are going to help us situate our pour point. Right, now because of the enormity of these different streams alongside their orders, we can decide to come to the raster calculator and do a few stuff by reducing the thresholds that we have defined earlier. So if we come down to the order, we say we need streams that are greater than 3. We are looking at the major streams, right? And then we say okay, create on the fly. We don't want to save it, just for demonstration purpose. Now you can see that we only have fewer streams compared to when it was showing all of those other smaller streams. Right, good. So this is another way you can use to maybe filter the data to have fewer streams. You can work on this threshold to make it either 4 or 5, or maybe the highest, which is 8. Right, good. So now, having established that, we are now going to decide on any point of the highest color where we want to use as our pop point. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we are going to use this cell as our pop point. Right, so when you right click, you can copy the coordinates. So we are going to copy the coordinates in the map CRS, which is projected. So we open Notepad and then we paste the coordinates we have copied. So the first one is your eastings and the second one is what? Your northings. Right, so we now come to the final part, which is what? The upstream. That's the upslope area rather. So we click on upslope area. For the target area, we leave it as default as it is. And then for the coordinate, this is your eastings, which is your x. So we copy that and then we paste. And then for your northings, we also copy that and then we paste here. The elevation will be what? The field then. The method, we are using deterministic 8. The convergence, we leave it as default as it is. We don't need the sync root, we leave it as default as it is. And then we now browse to a file. Okay, so let's call that area and then we click on save and then we run. Good, so we can close that. From this, we can see that this is what the watershed area. What it means is that streams along this area where this particular polygon is covered actually contributes to this pop point. So we are going to convert this raster to vector. So we come to raster, we go to conversion, polygonize, that's raster to vector. The input layer is the area we are trying to convert, and then we come to save to field. We call it area again and then we run. Good, so we have the watershed area delineated. Now we can do away with some of these other data for now, but before we proceed, we also need to clip our digital elevation model to the extent of this particular catchment area. So we come to raster, extraction, clip by max layer. The input will be the field then, and then the max layer will be what? The area we have just converted to vector. For the CRS, we leave them as default as they are, and then we just save to file. So we change the data type to TIFF, and then we have clipped them, we save, then we run. So we can close that. So we do away with the field then. We change the symbology of this to simple line. We make it 0.5. Good, so we can now zoom that to layer. Remember that we have the channels here, which we are going to clip to the extent of this polygon as well. So we come to vector, under geoprocessing tools, we select clip, and then we have our channels as the input, the area to be this, and then we save to file. So we call this channels underscore clipped, and then we run. So you can close that. From the clipped channels, you can open up the attribute table, come down to the order field, so you can know how many orders are there in that particular extent you have defined. We can see that the maximum is 6, so you can decide to either select it to the highest 4 and 5, or you leave it as default as it is. And then finally you symbolize your clipped them to a preferred symbology. So let's say we need quantile, we click on OK, and then for the channels we can make it 0.5, and then we make the color blue, or perhaps we look out for wavy lines and then make the color blue. Then we apply that, then we click on OK. So what it simply means is that our pop point, which was defined as this coordinate, we can just copy and then paste here. Good, so our pop point, which was defined here, these are the contributing streams that lead to this particular point. So we believe we have shown you how to use QGIS in order for you to get watershed delineation. We are going to see you on another interesting one. Until then, keep staying safe and have a fantastic time. Bye.